Hi, Dan. Hi, Jane. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hey man, nice to meet you.
So it took 35 years, but finally you have both succeeded in making the best Predator sequel that we have gotten yet. So congratulations on that.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank
It's,
you.
yeah, I mean, it's so good in because it's unlike anything else in the franchise. It is everything's different. The Predator itself is different. I mean, it's bigger, it's meaner than we've ever seen before. Was the goal from the outset to make this unlike any of the other movies in the series?
It was both for it to be unlike any other movie in this series and also a lot like the first movie in this series. We wanted to feel wanted to have the same ride that one went on. So even like what one of the things that made the first movie so incredible is the stages that you see the creature in. That you first are watching this cloaked being, and then you're seeing it in its masked form, and then you're seeing it in another final form, and all those stages filled audiences with surprise in 87. And since then, that surprise has already been spent, and we've just been relishing in the design, iterations of the design that we'd already been accustomed to, and that had been, the images perforating pop culture. So for me, the excitement was to give that feeling to everyone again, and reiterate on the design so that it feels undeniably Predator, but also very new. So its cloaked form has some newness, and the way that it functions in the set pieces is exciting, and the way it looks in its masked form, and then of course it still has another final form. So all of those things were fresh, but it still embrace what was so incredible about the first movie being a genre mashup movie. Except this time, instead of being an action sci-fi horror thing, this is much more of an adventure suspense sci-fi horror thing.
And what I loved about it is that if you were to cut the Predator out entirely, it's still got this great, authentic coming of age story. There's a great feel to the entire growing up arc that we have here. And I think that what's really nice is that I've seen so many movies that over the years, whether it's, it's Caucasian, it's European, it's indigenous peoples, whoever it might be, everybody's the same. But what I really like is in this story is that you don't have the mean older brother that says you can't do it. You don't have the people in the community that are saying, well, you're just a girl, so you can't do it. You have a character who wants to do something, faces the adversity, and then just does it. So it feels authentic. It doesn't feel like 1719. It feels like this could take place at any time. But at the same time, we don't hit any of those cliches that you see of, well, they're Native Americans, they're indigenous people, they're going to do it this way or that way. So Jane, was the authenticity to this story paramount in making this happen?
Oh, absolutely. But it wasn't just to happen well, I guess, yes, on screen, but it was to happen throughout the whole production. So I felt like, because I have like a huge creative side that I don't always get to use when I'm being a producer, because sometimes I'm brought in for something special or doing this or doing that. This time it was kind of just like wide open. So for me, it was amazing. I was able to, I'm also a fine artist, so I was able to use my traditional art skills in teaching, wardrobe and costuming. This is how, you would make this. These are the colors you would use, even to developing the paint, and the face paint of all the characters, where it kind of just was part of their character. It wasn't just all of a sudden someone's just throwing paint on them. No, it's kind of developed on who they are, their personalities, etc. So for me, it was amazing. And then also being a producer, it allowed us to put people into Native people into different positions, as interns in all of the departments. And we even had a guy in grip, and like on one of the downtimes, they had the grip Olympics, and the Native guy won. He carried the most sandbags, the furthest without dropping them. So, we had, it was just great, because never have I ever, and I don't know if I ever will again, work on a project that really sets that bar for representation and authenticity so high.
And what's very cool about it is that the world of comic books has allowed these kinds of characters to tell these fantastical stories that are outside of what you would normally see on the big screen. But now we're seeing something that I think I've only ever seen this kind of story done in pages of comic. With now this being as good as it is, and I hope everybody loves it as much as I did, is this now opening the potential for the Predator to appear in different periods in history with different cultures? Is that kind of, I keep thinking like the Assassin's Creed approach, where it's now it's 1492, or now it's 400 BC. Is that something that you were thinking about, or would the next one be something just completely different than what this was?
I think both approaches are valid, and it's too early to say right now exactly what we would do next. But you're right to point out that this is what's so exciting about this. One of the things that I loved about making 10 Cloverfield Lane was that it was very much like, wouldn't it be crazy if the movie was this way and then right at the end it became, it's like, it's got that, wouldn't it be crazy if, and those are the kinds of things that we often get in fan fiction and in comic books or in the novellas that support the movie lore. And so this very much represents like, no, what if we did that in a movie? What if we did that thing, that the kind of story that usually would just get to be told in the comic book? What if we do that as a movie? And I think there's lots of takes like that for this that aren't necessarily time period oriented, that are really bold swings. But it's a very astute point.
Well, it's a great movie. I loved it. I hope everybody checks it out when it premieres. And I will guarantee you my prediction, 1 year from now at Comic-Con, you're going to see a lot of cosplay as these characters. It's going to be huge. So congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Whatever did this, I can kill it.